Coming in at number 5, which now we're getting into the top 5, is going to be I absolutely love. I think there's really only 2 bad tracks on this entire album. I'll be honest, when it comes to music, Jay-Z will always forever remain my favorite, even though right now he is getting more slack than ever. And especially now with everybody coming out of the woodwork, talking nothing but bad about him. This really took me a long time to put together because when it comes to Jay-Z albums, now I'm not sure what's real or what's fake. And it's kind of crazy, especially with D. Haven's new interview on Real Street Life. He just basically said that Reasonable Doubt was his life and Jay just added his own name to it. And I just can't really see where that's even possible, but it could be. I don't know. I guess we'll just have to find out in the end, or maybe we'll never find out. Anyways, this is my album ranking right after this.
You guys got fat while everybody starved on the street. It's my turn. You come with me. I'm at the Plaza Hotel. You're welcome. You're all welcome.
Now, 2 disclaimers. I am going to take out Reasonable Doubt because to me, that is the GOAT album in Jay-Z's lineup. I am not going to lie. I will forever love that album. And my favorite 2 songs on there is The Evils and Feeling It. Those have always been my 2 that I absolutely love. So from here, I'm also not going to include any collaboration albums. So Watch the Throne, Collision Course, and the 2 horrible R. Kelly ones that he did with R. Kelly, Best of Both Worlds. I'm not going to include those. These are just his studio albums.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
This is my ranking. Don't hate me for it. It's just my personal opinion, and I would love to know yours down below in the comments. Just give me your top 3, your top 5, or give me the whole entire album list. I want to know your thoughts, and like, share, and subscribe. Number 12 is going to be The Blueprint 2.1. I do have the original album, which was a double disc, but that is actually not the album that Jay-Z wanted to put out. He was actually forced by Dame Dash to put that out because double albums were the thing back then. Everybody was pumping out double albums. I think Dame Dash, in a business sense, actually was like, let's do the same thing that the industry is doing. That way we can get more sales. To me, Blueprint 2 is probably his weakest album, but my favorite song on that album is Hovey Baby. Coming in at number 11 is going to be Kingdom Come. Now, again, a lot of people really hate this album. This is probably the bottom of the barrel on everybody's list, but there's actually a couple good songs. As far as like giving it anything higher, being in like even a top 10 for me, that's not going to happen because it's just not that great of an album. But my favorite song on it is Trouble. Coming in at number 10, this one people might get a little angry for me, but that is going to be The Dynasty. And the reason being is that I really felt The Dynasty was more of a group album than it was Jay's studio album. And I've always considered it like that. But a lot of people will still look at it as it's a Jay album, but almost every song has a feature and almost every song has a Rockefeller artist on it. And it was a great way to promote. Cameron basically did the same thing with Killer Season. He was introducing his new artist and letting people shine before his album started and at the end of his album. So I get where Jay was trying to do this, but for me, it just really didn't hit that hard. But my favorite song on there is Squeeze First. Number 9, Magna Carta Holy Grail. That's just what it is. I do like a few songs on here, but I really feel like these songs are so short and he really didn't put in that much time with them. For me, this kind of goes down towards, the bottom of the list. My favorite song on there is Nickels and Dimes. Coming in at number 8 is going to be The Blueprint 3. Reason being is I feel like I was kind of over the whole Blueprint thing because Blueprint 2, and I am a huge Jay fan, but that album just was kind of like, I don't want to listen to part 3, but I had to buy it because I own every single CD that Jay has come out with. So I said, screw it, let me get it. And it wasn't as bad as I thought, but it's just basically him taking shots at people. It just really didn't entertain me as much as I thought it would. But my favorite song on there is Reminder. I really can't tell you why. I just love the beat and I love his cockiness. And right in the beginning of the song, he just comes off just cocky and arrogant. And that's who Jay has always been. He's always been about the bag. Coming in at number 7 is going to be In My Lifetime Volume 1. I really like this album. A lot of people actually said that this album was slightly better than Reasonable Doubt. And hold on, hear me out. It's because he went a little bit more commercial on this one, really trying to expand his wings and show people that he has lyrical skill. City Is Mine, when that came out, everybody was just kind of like, oh, because that is the biggest question. If Big was still alive and, they put out the commission, would they still have stayed together? Would there be some kind of double crossing or something like that? Would Big have left Bad Boy? Because that was another claim. But that just leaves so much of a mystery, Volume 1. So I really do enjoy that album. And my favorite song is Imaginary Player. Coming in at number 6, and this is still to date his highest selling album, and that's going to be Volume 2. Now I know a lot of people put Volume 2 in their like top category. Usually it's on a lot of people's top 5 list. I mean, the 3 main songs on there that I could probably listen to over and over is Ride or Die, Reservoir Dogs, that happens to be my favorite on there. And then that's what I mean. Like, I can't even think off the top of my head because that album I've listened to like the least out of all of his albums, but it does hold a lot of credibility still, and it is still his number 1 selling album. So this is the album that really put Jay on the map. People really started to look at his lyrical skill and see that he had lyrical skill. Coming in at number 5, which now we're getting into the top 5, is going to be Volume 3. I absolutely love Volume 3. I think there's really only 2 bad tracks on this entire album. A lot of people may disagree, but that's just the way I always looked at this album. It is just straight fire. Every beat on there is on point. The only song I wasn't really feeling is the one with Mariah. That one's kind of weak, but like Dope Man, Ghetto, there's just so many on there. And my favorite track on there is the Snoopy track. But I absolutely love this album. That's why it's in my top 5. Number 4 is going to be The Black Album. The Black Album, again, a lot of people will put that in their top 3 or they're even in their top 2. But for me, this one was great, really showing the beginning to the end. And I love the way it was structured and put together. I really thought that this was the retirement. I thought he was done, especially with the way that if he never had came out with another album ever again, this would have been literally the perfect walk away, I'm done, I quit. My favorite song on there is Moment of Clarity. Coming in at number 3 is American Gangster. I absolutely love American Gangster. I thought that should have been the soundtrack of the entire movie, American Gangster. It just has a little bit of everything. Flow, beats, everything was so smooth. Every track just went right after the next. And to me, there's really not a skippable track on there. To me, that's a well put together, solid album. And my favorite song on there is No Hook. Number 2, I did a video on this one. I think that down the road, we'll see how it goes with this whole trial thing because everybody can't wait to see Jay-Z's downfall. But this album, 444, is just absolutely amazing from beginning to end. And to beginning, he is really expressing his genuine thoughts, overcoming things. It just is a well-structured, put together album. And I really still do believe that 10 to 15 years from now, people will look back on 444 and say this is one of the most important albums in hip hop. And my favorite song on there is Marcy Me. And last but not least, besides Reasonable Doubt being the GOAT, number one is going to be Blueprint. I remember when this came out, it just like literally I felt like every track on here was just absolutely amazing. Again, front to back, back to front. I really don't think that this has a skippable track, but when you've heard the songs 100 times on the radio, you know, you do tend to skip over those songs, but I thought this was immaculate from beginning to end, and I absolutely loved it. And even the two hidden tracks, which that is one of my favorites and is my favorite on this album, is Lyrical Exercise. Now, if you've never had the CD and you never heard Lyrical Exercise, I suggest you go on YouTube and definitely find Jay-Z's Lyrical Exercise, because the song is absolutely crazy. Anyways, like I said, I want you guys to tell me what is your favorite Jay-Z albums. You know, you can only give me 3 or 5, or you can do all of them down in the comments. Much love, and I will see y'all on the next one. Peace.